All right, Lindsay, thank you so much. Public feedback can help shape big development decisions here in Utah, and voting early, especially in primary elections, can have a big impact on what happens next. We are joined by former Governor Gary Herbert to see what you have to say and why it matters. Good morning, Governor Herbert. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and good morning to you.
All right, let's talk about this data center. This has been a big story, this proposed data center in Box Elder County. Downsized, that's the latest we've heard. What does that change in the size say to you?
Well, there's certainly input from the public. There's outrage out there, which goes to the process. We used to say in the Herbert administration, process counts. Make sure your process is good. If that happens, you'll have consensus being built with your constituents, and you'll probably come up with the right policy that everybody can kind of support. So I appreciate the fact that it's a hard thing, it's a unique thing that's happened out there, and the public really has been saying, wait a minute, slow down. We have questions and we want answers, and the elected officials are recognizing that now and are coming back and saying, let's see what we can do. On the other side, they're also saying maybe 40,000 acres is a little bit too much to bite off at one sitting. Let's come back to 10,000 acres and see if we grow into needing more. And I think that's wise on their part.
At least one Democratic congressional candidate called this development, he called it theater. He said, okay, well, there was an ask to downsize and then a gracious approval to downsize from Kevin O'Leary. What do you make of that accusation that this was just theater?
Well, there's probably politics in a lot of decisions that are being made. It is politics. We call it that for a reason. But what would you want the elected officials to say, oh, I'm going to ignore what you're saying and just leave it the way it is, take it or lump it or leave it? No. And I think there's the challenge. We ought to realize with an elected official decide it's a republic, it's a representative form of government. I should represent the people. What if the people are divided 50-50? What about your own moral positions and what you think is right and wrong? And that's always kind of a challenge for an elected official. Do I represent the people? Do I have my own thoughts about this issue from what I think would be appropriate? And that can sometimes be at conflict.
Well, let me move on. I want to cover as many topics as we can. So I want to talk about primary elections. It is obviously primary season across the country, including here in Utah. Why do they matter so much? What is your opinion?
Well, here at the Herbert Institute at UVU, we're actually hosting some primary debates and make sure that people have the opportunity to ask questions, get answers, make a decision, be informed voters, which is what we need to have an emphasis on. Informed voting. We'll have a lot better outcomes if we're informed rather than just going to the booth and tossing a coin. And certainly historically in Utah, those who win the primary election, the majority of times will win the general election. In fact, many times the issue is decided in the primary election. Sometimes there's not even an opponent in a general election. Again, our state is so overwhelmingly Republican, 3.5 to 1, that those who win the primary generally are going to win the November election. So it is really important to get out and participate. Again, fewer people show up, which means you have an extraordinary amount of influence on the outcome with your single vote. And it's something we should always vote on every election, not just the general election, but the primary election deserves our rapt attention.
All right, let's talk about growth in Utah right now. What is standing out to you when it comes to growth? Because we are seeing so much of it across the state.
Even when I was governor, we talked about some of the challenges we face, and it was all surrounding growth. That's the overall umbrella. And whether you like it or not, it's happening. People like coming to Utah. They like the people. They like the culture. They like the job opportunities. A great place to raise your family. I mean, all those things are attracting people to come to Utah. And so that growth factor impacts environmental issues. We see the congestion on the roads and highways, which are not up to speed with what the population demands are. Crime, even if the crime rate stays the same, you still have more needs for more beds in county jails and the prison. So growth impacts virtually everything we do, and something we need to have a vision for the future. Here's where we're at, here's where we're going to be, what do we do to accommodate so we don't have any diminution of our quality of life, which is what's attracting people here in the first place.
Let's end on an optimistic note here. We are about to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday in less than a month now, or basically just under a month. What does July 4th mean to you? How are you going to be celebrating?
Well, I always say it's a chance for me to renew my patriotic batteries and take care of me for the rest of the year. And I think everybody kind of has the appreciation when the flag goes by and they play the national anthem and a couple of John Philip Sousa marches. You feel that patriotism and love of country. We happen to have also, by the way, parenthetically, I'll just tell you, Jenny Oaks Baker has been invited to perform on the main platform for America 250 in Washington, D.C. And also an invitation just came in to Caleb Chapman's Crescent Band out of Pleasant Grove, which is national champions in jazz. All these high school students that are geniuses when it comes to music. Your station ought to come down and cover them because they've now been invited. Two main players, back-to-back days, main stage from Utah. I know the Crescent Band is probably setting up a GoFundMe account. They need to raise about $150,000 to take the high school students and the band and perform. But that's going to be quite a feather in the cap of Utah, having a couple of main stage performers from Utah.
Okay, real quickly, where will you be celebrating?
As I always do, I've gone to the 4th of July Freedom Festival for the last, since 1990 in a row. I haven't missed either, and I've been in the parade most of the time. But
okay.
My wife's now on the foundation board, so we'll be celebrating with about 35 of our family. Freedom Festival, 4th of July, picnic, get together, appreciate our love for country, and the great blessings we all take too often for granted.
All right, former Governor Gary Herbert, thank you so much for talking to us. We always appreciate it.
You bet. Good to see you, Lincoln.
All right, good to see you as well. Remember, you can watch Arc Salt Lake anytime on your phone, tablet, or TV. Check out highlights from all of our newscasts on the Arc Salt Lake YouTube page. Just follow the QR code right there on your screen. It's